Street food, I don't.
Everything but the cluck.
I mean, it's pretty much like a very large beak. It's all cartilage and chitin, and
Yeah.
why would you want to eat that?
Just,
Have you seen the squid shula that they have as jerky?
But
I
at least
have
that's meat.
I have tried to eat squid jerky. No,
At least
you chew on that for 2 hours.
it's
He
thick.
claims it's meat. He claims it's meat.
Again, it's
I would not touch the stuff.
well, I didn't say I touch it. I just said technically
Mostly
it's meat.
because in the morning it's the laundry, in the afternoon it's the squid.
Yeah, well, yeah, there is that.
Oh crap, we're live.
Live.
Oh,
Thanks, Cedar. I do appreciate it.
what?
She was complimenting my haircut.
Oh,
Yeah, this has been a week. I got folded, spindled, and mutilated this morning by the chiropractor, and then went and got my fangs scraped. So I'm off to a good start today. Yeah. 70-day chance of snow tomorrow. Oh, good, Dawn.
Here?
No, Dawn.
You notice I wouldn't have been all that surprised if it were here.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be 80 here tomorrow, maybe.
Well, let's do what EcuKiss says.
Well, bearing in mind that we're in Texas and we've got the Easter freeze coming.
Yeah.
They're calling thunderstorm Friday, Saturday, and rain Sunday.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Anyway, to start today, I guess the fun one this morning was LA Teachers Union telling the employees, i.e. the teachers, not to post their spring break pictures on Facebook because it would not lend credibility to their argument.
That they need to keep the schools closed.
Yeah.
Well, the teachers need to respond with that's freedom of speech. They should have the right to post their pictures on Facebook. They can't be denied.
They can't be denied spring break.
My grandson's second grade teacher in Northern California has been phoning it in from Mexico for a month.
Yeah, I can believe it.
Oh yeah.
So let me get this straight.
Yes, I shaved, Jonna, because it's going to be friggin' 80 here tomorrow.
My beard's coming off in the next week, by the way.
The teachers union swung it so the teachers get full pay.
Yeah.
So the teachers,
Taxpayer expense.
so whether or not they come to work, they're getting full pay.
Yeah.
So why the hell come to work?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you're doing it by Zoom, why not do it from Mexico or any place with a decent broadband connection?
Yeah. Well, her excuse apparently when she got called out on it was, oh, I had to go take care of my parents.
In Mexico?
Yeah.
Oh,
So anyway,
my parents live on a beach?
and not going there.
Okay.
In other news,
Hard left.
yeah, rather interesting issues out of St. Louis, Missouri,
Oh, no kidding. Woo!
with the guardian ad litems and judges, and an allegation of multiple large network of law firms working in conjunction with each other in family court cases.
To bilk somebody out of as much money as possible.
Wait. You're telling me that a group of people figured out a way to scam another group of people
Shocking,
and
right?
then took advantage of that?
Lawyers and judges and former judges.
And again,
Well,
no shock face.
Yeah.
guardian ad litem's are the attorneys appointed to represent children,
Children, yes.
in custody cases.
Right.
Apparently-
Why wouldn't you use that as a
Well,
scam?
These are, well,
They're supposed to represent each
Interest-
side
yeah, interest
without talking.
Right.
What they're doing-
Except
Yeah.
apparently, and I got this off a quick scan of an article, is the guardian ad litems for the child or for one party and the other party were getting together, and whichever party had the least amount of money, we'll call it party A, they would bilk party A and party B until party A was out of money and then give the child to party B.
Yeah.
Even if apparently party B was a child molester or a drug addict or a felon.
Okay, so I seem to recall back in the 40s or 50s, in the Northeast, like Boston region, but I could be wrong. Could have been Philadelphia or something like that. The court-appointed attorneys for you have a right to an attorney, those kind of guys.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Figured out a way to scam the state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hello.
Yeah.
It's the same thing over again. It's just that now we've got kids involved.
Well, and it's not, in that case, if I remember it right, they were scamming for court fees.
Yeah.
This goes way above court fees.
Yeah, this goes to the point that former judges on the St. Louis County Circuit Court, who now work for a mediation company, the current judge is ordering the petitioners to use the mediation company for $1,200 down and $450 an hour.
Again, not surprised. We have a group of people that have figured out a scam.
Outrage,
That's been
maybe, but
advantage
not
of it.
scams.
Yeah.
There's going to be lynchings on this one.
Well, and the interesting part is when this came to light and they're now talking about court suits, every judge in the entire judicial district recused themselves.
Because they all know each other. It's an old
Well,
network.
It's not only that, but the question is, how many judges were in on this and getting money under the
Oh,
table?
yeah, well, that may not be. I mean, the fact that they all know each
Oh,
other.
come on. You know damn well they were getting money under the table.
Know that they were all involved, then hello, welcome to New Orleans. But it's just the fact that they all knew each other. Yes, I can understand. They're going to have to change it anyway to get it to somebody they don't know. But the judicial system, the bar association, is worse than ring knockers.
Oh, yeah.
You're not kidding.
It's very small. It's very insular. I mean, you can.
Stephen N. Williams.
Yeah.
You fight for the right to beat your wife.
Yeah.
Got arrested multiple times for the aforementioned beating of the wife
Hey, Nancy, good to see you.
in Bucks Scuffle County. Got arrested, popped, I don't know how many times, and ended up on Lake Arrowhead, which is basically a puddle.
Yep.
In a high-speed boat chase, and was during the reason for the high-speed boat chase is he was dumping his cocaine. Neglected, however, to cut open the cocaine before he pushed it over the side of the boat and then ran aground. Is still a lawyer.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Complaints were filed with the State Bar of Texas, and this guy who, multiple beatings of said wife, high-speed boat pursuit in Texas, a high-speed boat pursuit in Texas, and
all 15 feet of it.
oh yeah, exactly. Ran out, it's 3 feet longer than the boat, and Colombian levels of cocaine he was getting paid in. That was his law. Apparently, his lawyer's fees were Colombian levels of cocaine,
Wow.
and he still got his bar card.
Yes. Well, look what it took to get she who shall not be named, who's run for president several times and always lost. Look how long it took for her to get disbarred.
Did she get disbarred? Did she voluntarily give up her card?
Oh, she voluntarily gave it up under penalty of disbarment, which
Right.
was coming.
It was
okay.
one or the other. And this is years after she got kicked off the Watergate.
Oh, yeah.
Because of
Well, there was the whole thing with the Rose Law Firm.
and the Watergate thing was they kicked her off because this lady's too corrupt even for us.
Yeah. Raptor says there was a case in Pennsylvania where the judges were getting kickbacks for sentencing kids to juvie at a facility owned by a particular company.
It's because they're privately owned. We
Yeah.
privatize
That's one of my big issues with private jails.
Yeah.
privatize the penal system.
So the
I said
question-
penal.
I hate that.
The question becomes, St. Louis arch, rope, and some assembly required, cricket bats optional,
I
or
wish.
tar and feathers?
I wish. Crucifying on the courthouse lawn has a really broad appeal right now.
Yeah. And Dawn says the county judge got her third DUI in 2 years up there. She can't hear or be involved in cases involving alcohol, but she wasn't voted out.
Wait. Third case of DWI in Texas. In Texas, the third conviction of DWI is a felony.
Yeah.
However, Second case is a class A misdemeanor, second conviction.
Yeah.
Which immediately removes you from office, if I remember right. Is there a different rule at other places?
Apparently Colorado is not like that
If you
Huh.
plead it out
and get it knocked down.
You have to
Yeah.
be knocked down as far as.
and
Yeah.
say, I will plead to this and I will do this and serve this or whatever. Oh my God.
Don says it's fourth in Colorado.
Oh.
Nancy says Hillary should have been disbarred ages ago. She had a reputation as a chronic liar when she was a low-level staffer.
Yes.
That she did.
Yes, and she wasn't. It took they were cooking the books for somebody to the tune of 7-8 figures.
Yeah.
And that's when she got
Finally got.
the option.
Yeah. Well, part of that was a Rose Law Firm too.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine when I was fresh out of high school who got divorced from his wife. Now his wife was the niece of the presiding judge in juvenile court or child court.
Oh dear.
And guess who got to sit on the divorce?
Yeah.
Her uncle.
Wow.
And he awarded her child support and maintenance.
Well,
Yeah.
custody and everything else.
Right now,
Everything except the kitchen sink.
his take home at the time, and he told me this, I love this. His take home at the time was $608 a week.
Yeah.
And the judge awarded his ex-wife $600 a week.
Oh, wow. See,
Needless to say, he ran.
Yeah.
I'd have pitched a wall-eyed fit because ethically he can't do that.
He should have recused himself.
Yeah, exactly.
But he didn't because, and congratulations, this is Minnesota.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Electra here in Buck-Suffolk County, there's a little town called Electra. Just the piece over there, his wife owned a restaurant in Electra. And she got sued because she neglected to frickin' pay a restaurant supply company for food that came in. It was $5,000 or less, so it's a JP case. He arranged for that case to be sent to his court, his wife's case, where he immediately dismissed it for lack of evidence. And the State Judge Association smacked him on the wrist for it.
good.
That was all.
No, that's not good.
Yeah, that
The
was
thing
all.
is, if it had just happened to fall onto his docket, fine. But he arranged to have it on his docket.
Oh, that was going on here in this county too,
Yeah.
because the wife of the head judge
Yeah.
was the scheduler for the county.
You slip her $5 and you get the right judge.
And Don said one of the DUIs was in Kansas because she stopped drinking in Colorado.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So she'd go out of state to drink.
Yeah.
Wow, there's some mental gymnastics going on there that get a 10 from the East German judge.
Oh, yeah. Well, hell, I remember when I was living in Carolina working at the university down there, the head of the South Carolina Supreme Court hit a car, was drunk, drove home,
Jesus.
and then refused to allow the officers to do anything about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, Rosemary Lehman.
Yeah.
She was the Travis County DA and got popped bad DWI. And at the time, the Travis County DA's office was in charge of investigating ethics violations of elected officials around the state.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that.
And she got popped DWI, and she was snot slinging, commode hugging drunk. And she demanded to see the sheriff and demanded to see the chief. And at the time, the Austin PD chief was Art Acevedo. And she had her phone calls. He showed up and ordered the sheriff's deputies to turn her loose.
Mr. Failing Upward, that's Acevedo?
Yeah.
And they said, "Who the hell are you?" And he said, "If you don't do what I tell you, I'll have your jobs." Apparently, the Travis County sheriff called the Austin PD chief the next day and said, "If you ever talk to one of my," and told him how to cow eat cabbage.
There is nothing like God on this green earth as a sheriff inside his own county.
In the state of Texas, yes.
Yes.
This is why the Texas Rangers have.
Yep.
She's the one that caused it.
Yep.
This little kid, yeah,
Yeah.
I remember. Oh,
Rick Perry told her that she needed to give up. She couldn't investigate. She was corrupt,
Yeah.
ethically iffy. That she did, and she said, basically said, "I'm a elected DA. Go pound sand." He said, "Really?"
gee, I'm the governor of the state of Texas. You're an elected DA in Texas. What do you think about this?
And two shakes and a tail later, he took the ethics and the somebody filed against him as tried to impeach him for abuse of office for taking the.
Oh, that was,
Yes. No, didn't she? Wasn't she part of that lawsuit?
yeah,
I
she
think
was
so.
part of it.
Yeah.
She was, Acevedo was, and somebody else.
Yeah, they tried to sue Rick Perry because he took the corruption investigation group away from a corrupt
Now,
prosecutor.
Yeah.
shock upon shock, Acevedo and the DA and all those guys were Democrats.
Yes.
Yes,
Perry was a Republican.
yes.
Also, it got tossed out on
Yeah, oh,
basically what the hell and now the Texas Rangers investigate.
Yeah.
Public integrity and do a damn finer job of it than Travis County was.
good on them.
Yeah, Aaron brings up a good point about South Carolina. In general, is filled with amazing amount of corruption and hypocrisy, which is very true.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of places in the Old South where the good old boy system. I'm from Africa. A little corruption is inevitable.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
There's people are bad. There's some corruption. There's a minimum amount of corruption going is inevitable. But some parts of the Old South took New Orleans,
Good.
took that and friggin' ran with it.
Yeah,
It's not just the Old South though. The sheriff of Nevada County in Iowa, when I was going to college, there up in Iowa State, Nevada was just one county over, would take it upon himself to not like somebody for whatever reason, and he would literally hound them out of the county.
oh yeah,
And usually it was students at Iowa State University 'cause it's right there, and it was the ones that were probably they were from a farmer family and they were just a little bit better off, so they could afford to not live in.
Right.
yeah.
Well,
And
honestly, I don't know of any sheriffs that don't have a smoke list.
yeah, this
but
was just so arbitrary
Yeah.
and so
But
continuous.
I've written about Frankie, the kid in the spoiled brat in that high centered his convertible on a koi pond. And I wound up arresting him and his mother for DWI. Frankie was a piece of work. And he wound up on my smoke list. And I finally ran him and his mama out of that county. He was just a piece of trash.
Raptor says you want corruption. 3 words: Philadelphia Parking Authority. Yes,
the meter maid mafia.
yes.
I don't do the Northeast. Fort Drum was about my TDY to Fort Drum and my TDY to Aberdeen were about my experiences with the Northeast.
My graphic artist that does my covers, they live in Philadelphia.
I got
They
mugged.
do not own a car, just to be on the safe side.
I got mugged in the damned airport
Yeah.
flying in.
I can remember being.
Somebody tried to mug me in DC. Somebody tried to mug me in the parking garage at whatever LaGuardia, whatever the hell the airport is in New York. I just don't like the Northeast.
That's because you're a redhead.
Well, I
they're
got
going after you up there anyways because you have no soul.
Yeah, there's at least 2 people that if they survive will quote me on that.
yeah, we had South Carolina was kind of interesting though, because the university where I worked, the law enforcement was actually an accredited agency, nationally accredited,
Most of them Texas are.
and also worked with SLED, which is South Carolina Law Enforcement Division. So the officers that worked for the university actually had arrest authority anywhere in the state of South Carolina, which got real interesting at the regional campuses because there was one particular situation that I ended up getting involved with due to some theft of some equipment, where it was the son of the deputy sheriff in that county, the chief deputy, was the one that stole the equipment.
Oh damn.
Because my daddy's the sheriff and I can get away with anything.
Yeah. So when we tracked down who it was, and I mean, we had him on video still. There was no ifs, ands, or buts.
He was in the express lane to Jet.
So, send the warrant down, and they refused to arrest him. So two of our constables went down and arrested him and picked him up, put him in the police car, started driving back to Columbia with him. Because if the county wasn't going to charge him, by God, they were going to charge him at state level. So the county police decided to chase him down and stop him.
Oh, that must have been a great chase.
Well, that worked out for him.
Yeah.
Well, it got real interesting when the state troopers and sleds showed up and arrested the deputies that were trying to arrest the constables who had arrested the kid.
Well, that was the weird thing about Iowa State University. The campus police were accredited. And the minimum level of training was the FBI Academy for anybody who worked for the campus police.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah. And that had something to do with the fact that the chief of campus police was,
a retired FBI agent.
no, he was retired FBI field supervisor. He was up there.
Yeah.
I
SAIC.
can't remember his name.
Well, the head of the law enforcement at the university I worked at was a former FBI SAC.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. They were highly professional.
Yeah.
And they didn't mess with the students, but oh my
Yeah.
God.
University Police in Texas, if it's university security, they're not accredited. If it's
Yeah.
university police, and most of your colleges have a university police department, they're state level accredited. They're state police officers.
Yeah. Sarah
Full
wants
powers
to,
of arrest, search, and seizure.
hear more about your mugging.
Which one?
Yeah, I'd love to know how many fingers the guy walked away with. Because it was fewer than 10.
I don't know. What is the statute of limitations on assault?
7 years.
Are you still wearing the fingers around your neck? How Africa are you? Come on, let's get it out.
There are necklaces and then there are necklaces.
I mean, but that's the thing. Yes, there's going to be a level of corruption. And the nice thing about Africa was you knew how much it was and you knew what it was. So
Yeah.
everywhere you went, it was, oh, their visa's messed up. I'm sorry, look at these $200 bills. Does that help?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And that's
Don says, we joke all the time, when one of us snaps, the admin staff is going to be mad because we can't be held here and made to do our jobs anyway. That's a good point.
ouch. But no, Jim's right. Africa. I'm used to Africa. I grew up in friggin' Africa. The corruption is normal. It's when it gets beyond, out of bounds that it's people get, like my brother, lose their mind.
And here it's not, it's considered not normal.
Yeah.
So
There are no
whoever's
bounds to
corrupt is making up as
Yeah.
they go along.
Well,
And
it's over there. A little corruption's okay. A lot of corruption's not.
Yeah.
Here, no corruption's okay.
right.
So what's the difference between taking a $10 bribe and a $1,000 bribe?
Nothing.
There's no difference. Over there, a $20 bribe for speeding is okay. A $200 bribe for speeding will get your butt kicked.
Oh yeah, you'll have me out of the car screaming at the cop.
Yeah, Aaron brings up a good point. Speaking of cops, I've been afraid of cops for the greater majority of my life because I never met one that wasn't corrupt.
Well, now you have.
I've
It
met
wasn't until she moved to Utah that she started to like them and trust them.
Now you have.
the majority of the cops I've met have not been corrupt. They've been up and up honest.
Yeah.
There's a few.
Well, there's always going to be a few.
Yeah.
Okay. I consider the free sodas the cops get to be a corruption.
Yeah.
But I'm from Africa. It's a small corruption, so I don't care. I used to carry the gold dollar coins in my pocket, and whenever I was on patrol and I was walked into a convenience store and they'd give me coffee or soda, I'd offer to pay for it, and they'd say no, and I'd leave the gold dollar coin on the counter because
That way,
I'm me.
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't bother me. The other officers have the free sodas or the free coffee because I'm from Africa.
Yeah.
Little corruption's perfectly okay. It's the big. And it's like obscenity to the Supreme Court. I don't know what I can't define big corruption, but I know it when I see it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, the first of the month.
Well, actually, big corruption, all you got to do is look at the current administration.
Yeah, yeah. In Luanda, the first of the month, beginning of the month, and the middle of the month, the cops will set up just random inspections.
Yeah,
Yeah, of any car that looked like you could afford.
Right, right. And they would get, which is why the company gave us this lot of 4-door hatchback.
Yeah.
As our crew car to get to and from the.
which looked like absolute crap.
But it looked like
No, it
hammered,
was straight out of the 90s. It,
it looked like hammered dog apples.
it was. It is. So we never.
Yeah.
We always made sure we had, around those times, we always made sure we had one of the security guys who was black driving the car. That way the cops wouldn't, but if a white guy was driving it, they'd pull.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
White guys always have them.
Yeah.
Well, it's like in Mexico, you never hand them your license. You roll the window up, show them the license through the window. Because if they can get their hands on it,
You got to pay to
One
get
of
it.
those, one of those, the guys that have them in a baggie.
Yeah.
And then they roll the window back up and the baggie's just there.
yeah,
But, you know,
We got lost going back to our group apartment once. And we were in one of the shanty towns of Luanda.
oh, that's a good place to be.
And the roads aren't paved. In fact, the ruts in the road
My
roads
shocked
aren't paved.
face, let me show
Yeah.
you.
So we're kind of stuck in kind of this mixture of ox cart, human, and car traffic.
Yeah.
And we get to this intersection and there's a cop there directing traffic. And I'm coming up to it and I'm a few cars back and I'm going, oh God, shit. And finally he stops us
Uh-huh.
and gets some others through. And then he gets them through and then he waves us through. And we drive by him and he's looking in and he sees us. He sees that we're white.
Then he starts, you know.
And he was, I think he was too shocked to do anything for a second. Because we got to that intersection, I was just like, get out of the way, cops. But he was, I'm sure if he'd have gotten over his shock, he would have.
Did you have a bill clipped or a paper clip to your driver's license?
I kept $2,000 on me in Luanda in $500 packs.
That was the 2000s or 2010s?
It was the teens.
See, that's
And they were.
driver's gone way up since
Yeah.
the 70s.
I've had, well, this is for the cops in Luanda.
Ah.
Luanda's a little bit more Wild West than, it's a little bit less Wild West than the PRC, but anyway, so I would have I had 500 in a shoe and I had 500 in a pocket. I had 500 in my little change pocket and 500 in my wallet because if somebody walks up with an AK,
You're paying them 500.
right, I'm not handing them $2,000,
No.
but I will hand them a couple $100 just
And
to have
I'm
a
here
nice
to
day.
tell you, if you pull a roll out of your pocket and peel off 500, they'll want the rest of it.
The one
Yeah.
for us, yeah. So that's why it was always $500 increments.
yeah,
And there's a urban combatives thing, the My Bad 20. I think Jack Clemens popularized it.
Yeah.
The My Bad 20 is something right out of Africa. And Africa in the 70s. My Bad 20 is the 20 you've got in your pocket that doesn't have your money clip in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, oh, my bad. And you pass a folded 20. It gets you out of a lot of problems in Africa. And I discovered in the less civilized parts of the United States, it works just as well.
yeah,
But you think about it, 20 is really not that much.
No, but if your buddy knocks over a beer at a club you two shouldn't have been at to begin with,
yeah,
knocks over a beer, it's like, oh, he's clumsy. And when you shake the aggrieved party's hand, you pass over 20.
Yeah.
20 for a knocked over beer is good.
yeah.
If he's leaning on somebody's Escalade and barfing, oh, dude, he's sick, my bad. And then you have a 20 while looking at it and get the hell out of it.
Yes. Sarah says my only real interaction with police was the time she had to call 911 because of a prowler. That's probably a better response than one of my classmates who promptly blew the prowler back out the door and then called the cops. And
I've
she
told a
was
couple of
17.
I've told a couple of stories in that vein.
And it's living proof that birdshot will take your ass out.
Oh, yeah.
It will hurt.
Oh,
Blew about a 4-inch hole right through the guy at about 5 yards.
that contact range is birdshot.
Yeah.
Leaves a cylinder of mincemeat behind.
Yep.
Plus the wad gets embedded.
Yeah.
which is.
No, WAD doesn't get embedded. I can tell you that
WAD
for a
keeps
fact.
on going
WAD
through.
will go on through.
Yeah,
Yeah, they found the WAD went through the screen door on the way out.
well, he should have, he was trespassing.
Yeah.
So I shot him, he's back outside now.
Well, the
Tom
squeal,
says either response is valid up there.
the squeal, the incident with the squeal.
Yeah.
When the squeal told Pappy,
But Squill, you mean not the wild hog that you shot with a 9mm just to mess it up?
there was a kid, youngest kid, accident. I guarantee it was an accident because I think the next oldest was in his teens when he was born. Youngest, and it was time for him to leave the nest. And Mama was a little, don't know about this. So there was this family friend that nobody exactly knew how he became a family friend, but he would tell these stirring tales of Daring Do as a Navy SEAL. He told Mama that he needed a roommate and Junior could come live with him and he would teach him the ways of the world and make sure he didn't get in trouble. Well, a couple of weeks and folks start asking Junior if there's something he needs to tell him. And start making noise on the lines of, it doesn't matter, we still love you. And Junior finally says, what are you, what? Well, you and the squeal are lovers.
Good.
And Junior bailed the hell out of the apartment, right Ricky tick, and he went back home. Well, the squeal starts calling, asking, where's Junior? And they say, he's not staying with you. And then he steps up and he can't believe that they would believe the cruel, crass, and vicious rumors people would spread.
Especially when he started them.
And then it went up to, you're keeping my lover away from me.
Of course.
Oh,
And showed up with the squeal on the front porch of Mommy and Daddy's house, banging on the door and screaming that they needed to give him that he wanted to talk to Junior personally. And Dad said, go away, Junior's upstairs with his girlfriend and you're bothering him.
That
And
just made him jealous.
oh, that spun him up something fierce. And he made a step or something, and Daddy, Vietnam era Marine, pulled an 1100 from behind the door and said, basically, fuck off.
yeah.
Nice.
Squeal draws himself to his full height and said, you have just made the last mistake of your life. Nobody points a gun at me. Pa said, all right, pulls the trigger 3 times.
Yeah.
That would have been my response.
Yep.
That was literally, that would have been my response.
Yep.
I pulled the gun on you. You have now threatened my life.
Yep.
Well, let me think about this for a second.
Apparently, Pappy didn't think about it for a second at all. He just, all right, pull the trigger 3 times.
Yeah.
And buckshot at contact or birdshot at contact distances is,
Yeah, it'll do a number.
yeah, they were cleaning bits of skull out of the front yard at least 6 months later.
Well, just let the dogs get out there.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
right now, just.
Well, apparently, Pa kept hitting bits of skull with a lawnmower.
Oh,
No, yeah, that'll screw up the blades. You don't want that.
Sarah said the only thing that she had was a fireplace poker, but you can do some damage with one of
Oh,
those.
yeah.
You know, that old baseball swing wind up.
Get your hips into it.
How big is a fireplace poker? Because I'm sure that we could,
3 feet long.
There's that one I use in there all the time.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure we could hog it out and turn it into a single shot 410. Just let us know. Let us know if you want that.
Turn into a bang stick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bang sticks are work a treat.
single shot 410 will stop the guy.
Yeah, well, especially a bang stick, you slam it up against his rib cage.
So I poked him with a fireplace poker.
Yeah.
Why is there a hole in it? Because the fireplace poker is a 410.
Yeah, Raptor was talking about racking of the slide. And I have to tell a funny story. Bill, my buddy was captain on patrol before he went to CID. Had a carload of out-of-staters. And when they finally pulled over, all the windows are blacked out. A couple of different languages, get out of the car, and nobody moved. And he got pissed and threw the mic down, reached up, grabbed the shotgun, which was cruiser ready, racked us around, and he said it was like lemmings jumping. He said, apparently that stuck Mike, and the sound of that slide racking went over the PA.
Oh my God, that's the biggest fucking shotgun I've ever heard.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
And there were 6 Hispanics prone out in the middle of the highway.
The Bajas Locos out of Pampa were attempting to expand their horizons into
Yay, Cedar's out of work.
One. And they came down and decided they got stupid and kicked a window unit out of a house that belonged to a teenage Hispanic boy. And he called, his parents called. I got a car chase down, the sheriff right behind me. And we got a car pulled over. I went running up and jammed a 357 in the driver's ear and dragged him out of the car by his nose. And I had him put out. And I was telling him in no uncertain terms what he was and was not going to do. And his buddy started getting out of the car. And the sheriff butt stroked the first one and stuffed the muzzle of a shotgun in the second one's face and racked the slide. And
It got stinky.
I heard the conversation, the recorded conversation when he called his mama on his 2 free phone calls.
Yeah.
And he told his mother it was a 4 gauge.
A 4 gauge.
He said it was as big as a pumpkin.
Obviously your sheriff was into elephant hunting.
Yeah.
He was gang member hunting.
Yes.
Yeah.
He did. And the sheriff at the time had been a Korea era infantry Marine. And when he butt stroked somebody,
They say buckstroke.
yeah, that guy did.
He had practiced that once or
Yeah.
twice.
That guy did. When you say he stayed butt stroke, you have no idea how true that statement was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they used to teach that. Apparently, they don't teach that anymore.
I don't
I
know.
can remember doing it during bayonet
Basic.
training. We
Yeah.
still did bayonet training.
Yeah, but only during basic. Never saw it after that.
No, well, yeah, but I wasn't combat arms. I was support, so I just had the 8-week basic.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I got the 12 week. How'd you wind up the 8 week at Jackson?
because aviation.
You suck.
Yeah, we went through the shore patrol training,
Oh, sticks.
So you get
sticks and shotguns.
Sticks.
the National Guard guys got pulled aside for that.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would give it to the rest of us.
Yeah.
But the National
I,
Guard got
I volunteered to follow along.
I was like, we riot control.
Yeah.
But they had to do the gas house twice.
Yeah.
We only had to do it once.
Yeah, Richard, that's a good point. You try that with the M16, you break the tube off.
No,
Well, no.
you won't.
No, an M16A1 that I used in basic, I butt stroked the hell out of the dummies and I put some hoop into it. And I
We-
never snapped them off.
Yeah, we used the butts to break our follow when we were prone.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things. Yeah.
The A1s, I don't imagine
Now-
A2s are different. But
Now the civilian butt stocks out there, I'm pretty sure a lot of them aren't as rugged.
Yeah.
the collapsing ones are going to snap off. We had fixed stocks. We didn't have the collapsing stocks.
Yeah, no, we had the old ones.
Erin says she went window shopping yesterday, found a Walther PK 380 in purple.
It's not a bad little gun.
Yeah.
380 is a decent little gun.
Yeah.
Walther, as long as it's not a PPK,
Yeah.
PPKS, as long as it's not one of those, a Walther's a damn decent pistol. PPKs eat my hands like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
Rottweiler.
It's like-
She says, pull out a purple gun. The guy's never going to live down getting shot by a girly gun.
My thing one carried 2 sets of pink handcuffs.
Yeah.
Because one, I'm here to tell you, cops will steal handcuffs.
Yeah.
Cops steal handcuffs.
Mhm.
1994, I had a set of Smith & Wessons. I had my driver's license number engraved on them. And wound up the XIT rodeo in the middle of a giant scrum. We arrested, probably 20 or 30 people. It was a standard day at XIT rodeo.
Yeah.
And I never got my handcuffs back. Fast forward to 2003. I am 4.5 hours away from the XIT rodeo, most of the way across Texas, and I'm taking handcuffs of somebody who got arrested and brought to jail. And I look down, and there's a very familiar driver's license number on the handcuffs. And I said,
These are my handcuffs.
These are mine. And the PD officer, the local PD officer said, no, those were given to me by my training officer. I said, it's a driver's license number. Do you ever run it? No, these are my handcuffs. Those are a sentimental from my training officer. Run the driver's license number. I got my handcuffs back.
You don't realize how close you came several times to carrying fuzzy pink handcuffs.
I've had fuzzy pink handcuffs before.
Yeah.
They don't get stolen.
No,
You
well,
can't give
that's
those
why
away.
thing one had the pink handcuffs.
You
One,
can't give those away.
whenever we had a mass arrest, she got her handcuffs back.
Yeah.
And two, when Vato number one is running his mouth, you tell him, you don't shut up and walk. I'm going to walk you past your bros in pink handcuffs. He will shut his mouth.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was one situation, one time I was back on leave and we were sitting out in the backyard or, well, a side yard chatting. And this car pulled into the subdivision real slow. And it was a low rider and it had Dallas plates. And we both kind of looked at each other and Bill went, oh, this ain't good. So we sat there and it was dark enough. We were both dressed dark enough clothes that weren't really noticeable. And it came back through. And then about 15 minutes later, it come back in again.
Because they first time around, they scope it out, second
Yeah.
time around, to pick up what you thought you'd see.
And Bill starts cussing. And he gets up, goes to the house, comes back, hands me a 12 gauge. Goes, you get over to that side, stay behind that tree, one tree there, so you're out of my line of fire just in case. And we'll see if these boys want to play. So they come easing back up and they stop. Bill's got his radio. And at this point, he's on live with the dispatcher. Walks up to the car, he's got his badge showing and asks them what they're doing there. And get rapid fire Spanish about, oh, we're just looking for an address. He says, no, this is your second time through. You're not looking for an address. You're scoping the neighborhood. And there's a comment to the effect of, well, ain't much you can do about it. Well, I've been easing up from behind a tree and I'm up at the back quarter panel. And I kind of leaned over enough. This old Impala, so it had a little side window. I leaned over far enough that I could see there's a guy in the back seat with a shotgun down like this. And I got Bill's attention and pointed, made this kind of, and he went, and he just nodded. So I just eased an old shotgun up at 12 gauge. And I saw him step back. And when he did, I just went tink, tink on that window.
Mama, it was the size of a pumpkin, I swear.
Did you make the rolling down?
Yeah.
International for rolling down window, even though nobody has
Nope.
manual windows anymore.
Nope. Didn't even come close. All I saw was eyeballs. And about that time, about 4 sirens sounded. And there were 4 cars within less than a minute descended on that. Turned out 3 out of the 5 of them had warrants out of Dallas.
No.
Oh my God, they were bad people.
Yes. And one of them had a warrant out of New Mexico.
And he thought
And,
he ran far enough.
Yeah. and the other one was an illegal that had no paperwork whatsoever.
Which meant he had warrants in Mexico.
Yeah.
Well, it's,
So they got carted off.
I always like you see the car kicks in the neighborhood, you stop it. You guys know what they're doing there. Oh, my girl lives over here. What's your girl's name?
Yeah.
And they'll give you 3 different names. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Of those 3 different names you've given me, nobody in this neighborhood has a daughter with a name like that. You want to try again? And then they start crying.
Yeah.
I would have just said Matilda.
Yeah, no Matildas in the neighborhood.
There's no Matildas anywhere.
Richard said there's a local game shop had a while back had a pink bat on the counter with the words "girl power" on it.
I like it.
Yeah, that works.
Nothing like getting smoke checked with a pink shotgun.
Yeah.
Bad enough that you have to go in front of St. Peter for your express trip to hell.
Yeah.
Bad enough everybody else in line's pointing at and laughing at you because you got smoke checked by a pink shotgun.
Yeah. Yeah, Nancy, it's always they were basically on the run from Dallas. And they decided to come over to Texarkana and see what they could steal and,
Some quick cash.
On the
maybe
way
they were
yeah,
avoided it.
quick cash.
Make it on the way through.
I'm thinking about backup guns right now, and I'm thinking, do you want a pink backup gun?
You won't lose it.
Yeah, but everybody will know whose backup gun got
Yeah,
shot.
well, that's good.
You were shot by what? A pink what? Is a pink gun?
Pink
Hey,
firearms.
Ian?
Yeah.
He was aiming a gun at me, and it was a revolver, and it was pink.
Yeah.
Hey, Ian, can
Where's
you?
Garber?
Yeah, so I'm thinking pink on handcuffs good, pink on backup guns bad.
Well,
Obi,
Not only
I'm not
that.
gonna let you out.
not only that, but some years back, had an incident that I told some folks about at Walmart, where this
Oh, yes.
agent got gooch punched by a ranch girl with some technique and a pink Comtech Stinger. Well, he had some connections and enough pull that they wanted to find out what happened. So the investigator, the not from the agency investigator, pulled the video camera and said, well, there's this guy standing there after Mr. Gooch Punch passed out. There's a gentleman who was leaning against a pickup with a pitch front Stetson, light tan in color. This is North Texas. All the cowboys up here have rancher creases, not pitch fronts, except one I know. And it's either silver belly or black, except this one guy I know who also happens to have a pinch front. Hey, Ian, you want to talk to me about Walmart? Damn it. Because everybody else he asked like four people, and all of them said, I don't know, man. Guy's left nut exploded, he screamed and fell over.
Yeah. Richard's take is a 1897 with an M105 bayonet. Yeah, that would work too.
God loves the bayonet.
Yeah.
Wait. Don't you want the what was the
The engineer with the sawback?
No, we never had it. Never mind. It was the British that had it. In their transition, one of their bayonets was long enough to turn the rifle they had at the time into a pike.
The French also did that with the Charbonnets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they cut them all down during World War One.
Because they were entrenched and a 14-foot.
They realized that even a 51-inch rifle will not swing well in a trench.
Yeah. Well, the Charbonnets, the bayonet on the Charbonnet was basically a saber
Yeah.
in and of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if I remember correctly,
21, 29, 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, if I remember correctly, they repurposed cavalry sabers.
Yes.
Yeah.
They just took cavalry sabers and said, let's clamp this to a rifle and see what happens.
Nancy says, I don't want a fruity colored gun of any kind, but if it was already available.
There are two colors real guns should never be: training blue and training orange.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
And I've
Wow.
seen people
Yes.
Cerakote their guns one of those two colors.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think anybody that has, because there for a while, about 10 years ago, the big har har ho ho, I cock a snook at the federal government was painting the end of your Glock orange.
Yeah.
And people like that need to be taken out back in turkey style.
Yeah. Well, we do have that one friend that did the multicolored AR. Remember that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he didn't have any training blue or training orange on it.
No, he didn't.
But it
Yeah.
was yellow and pink and blue and oh my God.
See, now,
With a Hello Kitty sticker on it. Yeah.
the thing is, you go back another 20 years to the mid 80s after Star Wars, early 80s after Star Wars came out, and they had battery powered, and we had them because, God damn it, my geek card is permanent. But they had plastic stormtrooper rifles, which
Yeah.
was the stand.
Sterling.
Yeah, essentially.
Sterling.
Right. But they were battery powered squirt guns.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and they didn't have the
The
orange
orange.
tip because that
Yeah.
wasn't a requirement back in the 80s. If you were stupid and got yourself killed, well, you were stupid and got yourself killed.
Yeah.
So,
There was
Well,
a-
RK says, I have an Austrian bayonet knife. Does not comply with Geneva conventions. I don't
Oh, wow.
care.
Are you talking about the Sawback? Is he talking about the?
She probably is, yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't part of the Geneva Convention. It was the Germans.
What
Made
Vega
a,
Accords, was it?
they
And I've got this one
yeah.
sitting handy.
The Germans wanted something to do for a propaganda coup, so they went on and on about these serrations on the back of the knives.
Yeah.
Evil.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stupid things that went
In
on.
the 60s,
I also
maybe
have
70s,
the rifle that fits on.
60s, maybe 70s, there's a show called Shadow. Might have been Man Shadow. Shadow. It was one of the puppet shows.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they had this little ray gun, and I love that thing. It was a Luger. It was a spacified Luger, but
Yes.
it was a Luger.
Yeah.
And I got one at Harrods. Harrods? No, Hamlin's. This giant toy store in England. I went and I wanted the laser gun from Shadow. And I got the laser gun from Shadow, which was a Luger. And when you pull the trigger, little battery powered wheel spun,
And shot sparks out the front.
so shot sparks out the front. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And me not getting killed was
know.
a miracle.
Yeah.
Because at night it looked like muzzle flash.
Yeah.
I can tell you, as teenagers running around in our little 4-door hatchback cars that the parents thought, well, this is so cheap, even if they do crash it, we don't care.
Okay.
And those Sterlings just laying in the back seat. I gotta imagine that every time there were a couple of times when God love it, when the Rochester PD pulled me over, they looked in the back and they're like, "Oh Jesus!"
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to violate a strongly held promise to various childhood friends of mine. As a junior in high school, 17 years old, we would go driving around with our friends because mom thought it was safe and we needed to meet children our own age.
This is the '80s, of course.
Yeah, we needed to be with children our own age because we didn't act like teenagers. And what we would do is we would get into a friend's maternity van, called a maternity van, because it was all shag carpet on the inside, and
Yeah.
you'd pile 6 teenage boys with 22s, and we'd drive up and down the dirt roads, and we'd see a rabbit at 11 o'clock. No, poor rabbit, my butt. And 6 kids would bail out of it, and it looked like Mogadishu, circa 1993.
And for the rest of that life, that rabbit was like,
And you see a rabbit terrorizing off across a plowed field with just. I don't know that we got a single rabbit, but man, we shot up several neighborhoods.
yeah.
Why? That's why you use the pickup truck.
We didn't have
Yeah.
a pickup.
What do you mean you didn't have a pickup
We didn't
truck?
have a pickup.
Somebody had a damn pickup truck.
Honest to God, didn't.
What we would do is,
Jeez, I'm wondering what kind of kids y'all were.
around the
Buddy
city,
blasting.
the city I grew up in, there were a lot of small, communities like, Bug Scuffle size.
Uh-huh.
What we would do is we would drive to one of these small towns and we'd just start walking. And
Nothing suspicious about that.
And as soon as a cop car drove by,
You take
we
off
would
running.
run.
You take off running.
Yes, we never did anything.
No, but you
But-
got chased by the cops.
Yes.
Yes. And for some reason, as children, that was fun.
Yep, and I got caught, and he had me up against the car for half an hour with a couple of my friends, and he finally came back over and said, "Nothing's happened, but if something does, I know where you live."
Yeah, Aaron, that's
Oh, one of those.
Yeah. a combination meat cleaver pistol and calendar of saints combined.
Yep. The religious calendar,
Yeah.
meat cleaver, and because, Dominus Ominous Blam.
Yeah.
Stab, stab, stab.
I mean, it's multi-tool.
It's my God, it's the early multi-tool.
Yes.
Dominus Ominous Blam.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm going to save the watch, Don, because I know you're lying through your damn teeth.
Uh-oh.
I've never shot at wildlife from a vehicle, nor ever driven a vehicle while others shot at wildlife. Mm-hmm.
I did that in Africa.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
were,
I was like 8, and I was driving the Range Rover.
I will admit, there were times that getting the car into the ditch and the shotgun out of the car, in time to shoot the dove was very close.
But
That's its own.
We used to shoot, we would go out with originally 22s, graduated to 30-30s. There are depending. Shooting feral dogs and cats out of the back of a pickup truck on East Texas and Southwest Arkansas country roads for bounties.
See, it was during pheasant season and turkey season and dove season up north.
I will say we were smart enough. We always got the vehicle before we opened fire.
Yeah.
We did.
We were teenagers. We were not that
So
smart.
were we. We never ever shot up a vehicle, which at least not the one we were in. Which looking back at it, and all that testosterone was a minor miracle.
Well, we had two people shooting forward quarters, two shooting straight out and two shooting back.
We would open the slide door, everybody would bail out, and Mad Minute would start.
We would do eat and shoots, where if one of our friends had a bat or a rat problem in their barn,
Oh,
we'd all go out and we'd load up whatever 22,
Mhm.
30, 50 cal,
we should go out to the dump to do that.
oil curtain,
Yeah.
20 millimeter, whatever we had. And we would all gather in the center of the barn.
Oh,
And then one of us with the Roman candle would light it off in the back or whatever. The rats, they'd start scurrying because, oh my God, there's a bright light.
People
And-
3 houses down are going, oh my God, what is it?
We thought we were safe because, oh, we're shooting outward. We're all in the middle.
no.
Yeah, some of those barns,
Yeah.
they were ready to collapse before.
You're lucky you didn't burn the damn barn down around your head.
Oh, no.
Sarah says Chinese fire drill plus shooting. Pretty much.
Yep.
Exactly. And then after we'd done that, we'd go have lunch.
And, there were, poisonous levels of testosterone involved.
Yes.
Maybe some alcohol.
Yeah.
We did not eat the bats.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing we did not do was drink and shoot, even as kids. I mean, that was
I
a
don't know that
lesson.
we ever did.
We were not big, the Chronic Reynolds weren't big drinkers in high school.
Yeah.
The,
Well, that was something that had been drilled into our heads because the guys that taught us how to shoot, most of them were World War II combat vets, A, and B, they were the law enforcement.
well,
So they knew who we were and where we lived.
the plain
Get out of that.
simple fact of the matter is after we got done buying 22, we didn't have any money for booze.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, there's
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And that was when
Yeah.
22 wasn't that expensive.
Yeah, I can remember 50 cents a box for 22 of 50.
I must say, 50 BMG has held steady at $3 to $3.50 bucks a round
Well, you're getting the
through
cheap
the
stuff.
entire COVID.
I will say one thing. Remington Lightning 22 ammo
Yeah.
taught me to run a jam or a misfire on a Remington 5.52
Oh, yeah.
like nothing. There for a while, I could clear a misfire in a Remington 5.52 without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Click.
Well, I did read today. Wolf and Brown Bear had been cannibalizing their surplus military stuff for civilian.
Yeah.
They've been because
They weren't doing that already.
well, the problem is the factory that produces their primers in Russia got shut down for COVID for 3 months.
Oh God.
And so they ran out of primers. So
Yeah. They were on primers on day 2.
when they ran out of primers, they ran out of civilian stuff.
Yeah.
Because they have to meet their government contracts.
Yeah.
First, most people do.
So they've been taking their overruns and cannibalizing it, so they have stuff to sell in the civilian market to actually make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Because
just-
government purchases of ammo don't make all that much money.
no, they're
Yeah.
you're looking at 1 to 3% maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, Raptor, Remington ammo sucks. I will,
It sucked back in the 80s. It
Oh,
sucked
yeah.
in the 90s.
that's
Which
why
was
you
terrible.
Huh?
Which was terrible
Yeah.
because the only decent medium velocity snubby load for a 357 was Remington Golden Saber.
Golden Saber.
And that crap, you could never get a ballistics chart out of Remington for it or any other round out of Remington.
It was plus or
Was it-
minus 100
Yeah,
to
was
200
it
feet. or
just
something.
because they weren't going to publish it, or was it because they didn't know?
They didn't know.
I
They
ran,
just said, here, let's use this charge and this weight bullet, and sell it.
I ran some medium velocity golden saber through my pistol one time, but I carried that for years when I was carrying Snubby. Finally got out to range with a chronograph and went, oh, Nikes,
Yeah.
because it was 200 FPS plus or minus.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like-
they had a shootout over in Texarkana a number of years ago, back when they were still carrying revolvers, 357s, and they had that damn, what was the Remington ammo?
golden saber.
Golden Saber. And they hit the guy 5 times, couldn't figure out why the hell he kept running. And they were shooting at about 20 yards.
Because they were bouncing off, they were so dead at that point.
It was sticking in his leather jacket. The
That's-
car that ran over him on state line and killed his ass fixed the problem, but they went out and, you know, they were looking for bullet holes and going, shit. And apparently one of the guys opened the jacket and heard this clink and went,
They're stuck between the leather and the lining on
Yeah.
the jacket, yeah.
the Hornady, Federal, CCI, and defensive ammo is pretty much what I stick with.
I've been surprised by some manufacturers. IMI, I find to be way more consistent than military ammo should be.
Really?
Yeah, Lithuanian GG, their head stamp is GGG.
Okay.
They're out of Lithuania.
Yeah.
Now, for a former Soviet bloc, not even satellite country, I mean, we're talking,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Former Soviet barrio.
yeah, they make great ammo.
But for defensive ammo, it's Hornady, it's Federal, or it's Gold Dog.
For defensive ammo, it's ball.
Yeah.
It's brass jacketed ball or copper jacketed ball because they're not going to sit there and go, well, you were using the extra special bullet.
That doesn't happen in Texas. That's an urban myth.
yeah.
I know it's an urban myth, but you know, my luck, I would be the first one.
No, you wouldn't.
Richard, you talk about Aniston MG saving that 50 cal mod deuce. That was saved. It was a 3-digit serial number,
Oh, that thing.
374,
Jeez.
and it is now in the Army Museum because it is the earliest known surviving M2 that has never been upgraded.
And it has been in apparently every war since John Moses Brown
Yeah.
sitting away on the
Oh
factory.
yeah, oh my God, yeah, it has to. But,
Yeah. And the company the unit that turned it in was going, we want our gun back. And,
Yeah. It's never failed us. You can't have it back. You got to give us it back.
And Aniston went, nope, you're not getting it back. It's gone. And on that note, folks, we wasted another hour of your time
Wow, this one
That was
was going fast.
and never really got to what we were going to talk about.
Do we ever really?
Sometimes.
There's a script. Nobody shows me scripts.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, be safe.
Yeah. Y'all take care. Have a safe week, folks. And if you're in Texas, enjoy the freedom.
Starting tomorrow. Woohoo!
Yeah. One other note, just before we go, I got to put this out. All the hate and discontent that was raised about Texas opening everything up.
Oh, bugger that for a lark.
So
Connecticut opened up and not word one was said.
that's because they're run by Democrats.
Yep.
Whereas Texas is run by Neanderthals, apparently.
Yeah. Proud of that.
Ook, ook.
All right, folks, be safe. Take care. Remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. We'll see you Thursday. Bye. And Obi desperately needs